Thank you for kind short introduction. Thank you. And thank you for having me here. I heard that this place is the battle royal place for the skin boosters. So let's get the battle started. Actually, we are. This is my COI, and this is sponsored lecture from the Elastin lab. First topic I want to show you is what do you think about, what do you feel about these kind of pictures? It's a texture, right? It is not facial, this kind of feature. It's not so kind of a wrinkle. It's a groove. It can be filled. It can be texture changes, but not the wrinkle actually, right? But we still look this kind of features as the sign of the aging. So what should we talk about this? If you're thinking about what we are seeing from our bare eyes is the depths we can just see through the skin is only the papillary dermis. And you can see that if you are comparing this kind of papillary dermis with the different kind of agings, you can see that the chronologic agings and the UVB agings, the UVB induced, the photo agings, you can see a different level of the changes, but usually it happens in the papillary dermis. What I mean is, if you're looking inside at the visible texture, the changes of the aging is only happening in the papillary dermis and the reticular dermis. If you're changing the reticular dermis, you will see that the furrows, wrinkles, and whatever. But for the papillary dermis, we have a different kind of fibroblast types, and the different fibroblast types in the papillary dermis and the reticular dermis, it acts completely differently. So you can see that the papillary dermis side, you can have a mechanical force. The changes upon the aging is quite different. Papillary dermis is more lax and more very significantly, critically affected with the kind of aging changes. So that means that our looking and our feeling about the skin change is mostly focused on the papillary dermis. And the kind of papillary dermis changes is related to the growth of the elastic tissues and disorganization of the collagens. You know that the collagen, the types and the arrangement is different with the papillary dermis and the reticular dermis. The deep dermis, you can see that the conductivity and the amount of the collagen bundles is quite important factors to maintain our structure. But for the papillary dermis, it is different. The organization and the direction, arrangement, and the mixture down with the elastic fibers is much more important factors. So when we have a repeated kind of the inflammation upon the other kind of diseases, you have the repeated number of the inflammation in the skin, or some burns, or any kind of the subclinical or other kind of the aging-related inflammatory condition, oxidant condition, over and over and over and over. The papillary dermis is affected with the elevated number of the level of the elastase, usually from our neutrophil and other kind of the bacterial origins. You will see that the elastic tissue, the decrease is the most important part of the kind of skin texture changes. It makes our retinal ridge, the decreases. It makes our papillary dermis more flattened. That makes it more fragile, or the more the tensile strength is getting decreased to get the kind of texture is not maintained. On the other hand, we have different kind of skin boosters a lot. So we are living in the skin booster era. We are using the autologous, allogenic, genogenic, synthetic, and the compound. A lot of different kind of the skin boosters, so-called skin boosters. We called it 20 years ago. We called it collagen boosters, but nobody is taking the kind of terms. We are using the skin boosters to improve not only the collagens but all around. So I'm not sure I can use all the things before I die. But anyway, I have to choose one that if I have the patient, if I have the candidate to use one of those kind of molecules that is necessary for their condition. And today the selection is some of the amino acid compound, and why I was interested in these kind of things. You know that if you're looking at the skin booster catalogs, you will see many good things, many indications. Sometimes it looks like some stem cell culture media, which was so popular 10 years ago. It looks like, oh, you can do anything. You can do anything, but anything not so better. So you will be very confused on that. But this molecule focused on something, just only one, is elastin. So it was very interesting. So if you compare the collagen to the elastin, so you can see that collagen structural protein is support, but elastin is much more giving the characteristic elasticity, and also with the scar formation, elastin is quite important. That means that if you are aging, if the elastin is not so properly deposited, it looks like some atrophic scar, like conditions when you are aging with normally regarded skin. We have a laxity, we have a thin epidermis, we have a thin skin, lax skin, glides over and over. It just looks like an atrophic scar, right? If you have an atrophic scar in the young ages, it looks like your old age skin. So the kind of elastin is a very good and very important kind of the characteristic decision maker. So it is something, if we can just use the elastin oriented increase in our skin, it is getting much more baby-like skin. Theoretically it is good. But the problem is to increase the only elastin is not so easy. It's super hard. If you're looking into some of the research histories, there are many kind of attempts that we need to increase the collagen type 3 and the elastin, like our baby skin, it was not available. So if you compare with that, the collagen and the elastin distribution with the age, you can see the red colored one with the elastin is not the only thing it is faint, it is disorganized, right? It is invisible actually. There is also the very significant and the definitive changes in between the aged and the young skin. And it is usually there are some kind of breakpoint in between the 30s and 40s. So if you're thinking about when I was getting old, started to getting old, it is around the 35 or 40. When did you feel that your skin is different with my younger ages? I think it's almost the same with this. So this material, the product is insisting that they have some of the research proven the effectiveness to increase the elastin in vivo, ex vivo, whatever. So it is using the elastin and the collagen type 1 gene simultaneously together stimulating. And the elastin and collagen proteins, they related to the protein. So it is not only the translation levels, the transcription to all the protein synthesis level, it has a more constant effectiveness. And it's quite interesting because the activation of the cross-linking enzyme, that means that it is not only making the elastin production the increase, it is making also the fiber formation is also improved. So I never saw the other kind of the skin boosters insisting like this, because it's quite very sharply focused the effectiveness compared to the other kind of a vast with all good kind of the skin boosters. So it was so interesting. So anyway, the protein expression, gene expression, around the 300% to 200% increase to the elastin only, and it is look like this. Its composition is very simple. You can see that the amino acids, just amino acids and some minerals. The characteristic is that it contains copper. The copper has a very important kind of the rare minerals in the skin that reacts with the fiber formation, fiber bundle formation. So it has this kind of the amino acid composition and also with the enzyme activation together. So it is making the kind of elastin and collagen fiber production together, it increases. And quite interesting thing is, this one is something to topically applied, not injected. So how we can, it can make this kind of things happening. Usually they are insisting that there is some kind of signal transduction in between the epidermis and dermis. When it is saturated with the epidermis, it is giving the kind of signals to that, so it is quite interesting. So with application, you can see with the UV exposure, with the disorganized the papillary dermis, you can see differences between here and here. Some of the changes with just the topical application. And also with that, you can see the changes, very well organized, right? And this one is the before and after the implementation. So what I'm feeling about this is when I'm showing the patient what's the benefit of this kind of skin booster, I just explained that you can go on to the one level from this, from level 4 to 3, to 3 to 2, 2 to 1. So if it is just a final touch of your old business or procedure, if you're thinking about the kind of haptic experience, this is not something that we are not just seeing, this is something feeling, right? Usually, it is not well accepted by the doctors because doctors only see, don't touch the patient face. But patient, the subjective kind of the feedback is, oh, my skin is so bouncy after the treatment, so taut after treatment. It's a kusut in my way. So anyway, so there is much more important in the quality control of the kind of thing. So this one is one before and after. So I'll just show you and see that the texture and see that the grooves of the skin. This one is using the 1927 trim lenses, and also is you can see that the texture. So the final thing is before and after the photo aids the golfer's hand. You can see that the texture is different. So I think that the papillary dermis is the main layer and the more important layer of the skin rejuvenation and the PREjuvenation, because we have to maintain that level of the skin groove and the skin textures. And the key molecules of the morphologic or tactile changes in the chronologic or the induced or photoaged skin. I think the elastin, if you can just touch the elastin selectively, I think it will be another key for the younger looking, baby feeling kind of skin. And targeted use of the skin booster, targeted use can add some values to your the not so well oriented or the just a good or the what is good kind of question. The multimodal rejuvenation is something should be fortified with some very, very concrete kind of the indications. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed it. Helpful for your practice. Thank you.
Thank you.